What's going on, everybody? It's Shiv here. Today is June 1st, 2020, and I wanted to break down a trade that I had today in Tesla. So let's get right into it. So today was Monday. Market was coming off of the overnight session up slightly. We had that overnight ES session. We were down 30 points, and then overnight we sort of flipped higher and started to open a bit higher. And we're watching Tesla here because of over the weekend there was a launch. Rocket, SpaceX had their highly anticipated launch into space, and that was sort of, it's unrelated to Tesla, but I felt that traders were looking out for this. Elon Musk has some heavy relationship with Tesla and obviously SpaceX, so I thought maybe there would be some positive sentiment covering Tesla. Along with that, there was also some news in Tesla regarding the new Model S and Model X sales. Basically, that news was just saying that all the new vehicles that were purchased would not count for free supercharging under the Tesla supercharger network. So basically, that's telling the street that, hey, we're monetizing the whole supercharging network. I'm not entirely sure if it's very profitable for them or not, but it was definitely could have been a piece of news that influenced this move up. So anyway, Tesla came into the pre-market breaking out of that key 835 resistance level. That was on Friday in the post-market. We got it to 840, and then there was a huge pre-market gap on Monday morning, today June 1st, around the 857. So what I was watching for on the open was a hold of like the 850 area. Here are my AM notes on it. For the long side, it was a little harder to sort of plan out the trade to the T. Usually I like to plan it out to the T in the morning, to the prices that I'm going to buy at. But it was a little tougher this morning as Tesla was moving rather volatile in a volatile fashion. And it was like at 860 and then 858. And I just wanted to sort of play it by sight since the pre-market was moving. Nothing really set in stone except the upside targets and the risk. So I wanted to risk 2 points per play to make 10 points. I was willing to attempt that a couple times. Some of my upside targets were 872, 886, 890, and then possibly 904. So those are my AM notes. We'll go through my daily review after we break down the trade. So Tesla opens up. First bar comes into 854 low. I like how, we didn't even test 850. I saw some heavy buyers on the tape, so immediately as a scalp trade, I hit into the 860 calls, and I was filled there around here, like 857. Held that bar, got out of all my position on a clear tape rejection at 865. I didn't like the way the momentum was flowing. I didn't think that it would push higher this early, and I noticed that SPY, the first two opening prints on SPY were green bar. There was a red bar and a green bar on SPY, so I didn't want to take the chance there. Didn't like the momentum, so I just kind of got out of my position there and waited for a re-entry. You can see here, Tesla came down, sold off a pretty good amount, just about at the same level almost of the 854. Started ripping up here, came back into the EMA, which is I've noticed that this EMA, the 21 EMA, is highly respected by Tesla as a trend follower, so I definitely didn't want to lose money under that. Then I started buying the Hive Day, the momentum here. It's just another quick scalp trade, selling the 871 here. And then here, I bought the 867.50 pocket. I like this sort of zone that the stock set up. I was risking just right about here, about a point. Yeah, just about 1 point here. Buying this 867 breakout. And then I'm adding some more at the 871, thinking that, all right, maybe we can push higher. And then I'm out some at 876, and I had a couple into 877, but nothing too crazy. So I was out pretty much the whole position around 876, 877. So that was the morning trades. PNL on this was just a little bit over $1,500, and then I traded it a little bit later in the day. I'm gonna switch to a 5-minute chart. Yeah, perfect. So I have this swing idea in Tesla. I'm long the stock. I have a long bias against the stock, with all the news flow coming out and with the market sort of on this bull case. I had a little bit of an extended idea in Tesla, and I also believe that maybe, just maybe, we would get to one of my targets during the market. My target was 904, as we saw in the pre-market notes right here. My last upside target was like a 900 break, 904. We couldn't exactly get that, so I cut my position early, but this was sort of an intraday swing idea. I filled in the position around 230, picking up this 881 support. I like how it held 880. We tested here on 880 and we had a nice buy spike, clean buy spike, nice run up. Couldn't exactly get above the high of day here, so that was definitely something to look out for. I felt like I was putting on a decent amount of risk at this spot. I was definitely a little antsy on that entry, but nevertheless it worked out, and I was risking the 880, so the 880 rejection, so I probably would have gotten out of the position around 877 had I lost this, so risking about 3 points for like 10 plus. I actually covered at 14 points, but anyway, entering this intraday trade here at 881 support. Stock keeps ripping up on a 5-minute basis. It gets through 895. My original target was 890, but this candle here sort of spooked me out. At this point, I hadn't expected my options to be up 60%. I was up 67% at max on the whole contracts, and I felt like that was a lot. These were near dated expirations. These were Friday expirations, but it was only Monday, and I wasn't expecting it to go 60% this quickly on like a 9-point trade. So I went ahead and just cut those at 894, took off the 60%, and I mean, it's a good thing I'm not holding that overnight risk. In the post market, it looks like we spiked into 904, 903, so that was good. Other than that, I had one more trade today that I could mention. I don't have it marked up. I had this one prepared, but I bought BA in the morning. It had a monster run. Coming into the pre-market, I had, right here, I had this range break, 141, 157, but I was more long bias in the name, so I'll be looking for a buy spot, preferably under 144 or at 144 if we can get that, and BA starts posting a solid red day. I'd like to call in for swings. So I was looking to swing trade this actually. This was another trade that turned in from like a swing idea to a sort of a momentum trade. I bought the 144.50 support, 144.75 area here. It was a little bit higher than that. I bet my fill came out to like 145. I filled this on the side account that I used. So I was in around here. And my idea was sort of to start averaging into the position because I wanted to swing it. I was hoping for it to go a little lower actually, so I could just work into my average, build into my position, because I had sort of a bull theory on this name as well. And then the stock just took a huge turn. It started ripping. I actually didn't even get to manage the position until I was done trading my Tesla. I got an alert that it broke out of this high of day, and then I figured, okay, the odds, that this pushes 150 are pretty good. So it pushed 150, and I got out of it right at 150. I couldn't take the entire setup home. Definitely sold a little bit early in this, and I was definitely a little undercapitalized in this trade as well. I wish I had bought more at the bottom here, but this trade was definitely A+ in terms of execution. But in terms of like planning and thought, definitely could have done better there. But nonetheless, I think it was a great trade. Taking 144 and getting out at like around 150 area. So those were two of my main trades today. Another thing that I was watching in the morning was the Zoom. I didn't trade this one, but this offered a great setup. Zoom, coming into the all-time high on Friday, putting in a really great day. I like how let's go on the 20 minute. So looking at the 20 minute here, Zoom came into on Friday, just a little bit lower, and then on the post market started pushing an all-time high, and then pushing, and then you can see huge buy spike on pretty much all time frames. If you're looking at 2 minute, see the open here was pretty pretty crazy. You just had to buy this and sort of hold it. Stock made like a 10-point move. I had this one planned as well, but I couldn't. Right here, the long was a continuation idea. Previous high gap risking $1 covering into the ATR levels. So basically that means that I wanted to buy into the gap, and I would have bought right around here, buying high of gap, and then covering at calculated ATR levels based on the stock's ATR. This one had an ATR of 11, so I would have been covering around 200 would have been the final target. 199 would have been the final target, but I definitely would have covered some like in the middle. There's no telling where I would have covered it, but definitely it offered a great long setup today, as the momentum was definitely in this stock. So that was all the trades that I had today. I thought it was a pretty good trading day for myself. If I take a look at my daily report card, today I scored actually 100. That hasn't happened in a long time. I thought it was an A+ day. I really liked the trades that I had in Tesla. I liked the trade, the intraday idea I had, and then the Boeing as well. Those were some great trades. So yeah, that's about it for this. I just wanted to quickly break down some of my trades. Quick 10-15 minute video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions. These were all trades that were called out in our Discord group. I'm in there intraday. My partner Joseph is in there intraday. So take a look at those links in the description. But that's all for this time. Thanks, everyone.